Yeah, on the animal space, V-I-C-E, cause no vice is strong enough to go against.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. Woo! I really just wanted to make sure that the first shot had pretty good lighting because it's kind of gloomy outside and lighting isn't great in here right now. And you know that fluorescent lighting isn't great either. So just finished another bike ride. You like my little knick-knack shelf? Used to look a lot better when I wasn't living alone. Whew. I'm doing better today. Thanks for asking. Been reflecting a lot on my failures and relapses, and been editing a lot and posting a lot, and that's been nice. Although I've been a little disappointed with the actual content that's been going up, just because the journal entries ever since my first relapse have been pretty depressing. So self-love is big. I don't know that I feel that yet, but I'm working on it. I realized that I was getting too comfortable in allowing the patterns of behavior. I do this. I get stuck in patterns, and sometimes they're very good patterns and let me try that again. I get stuck in patterns. Sometimes they're really good patterns of upward spirals, positive behavior. And then sometimes it's the other way around, where I start getting stuck in downward spirals of negative behavior, negative feedback loops. So I've been in a positive spiral for 2 weeks, had my longest streak ever. Yay! And then I had my first relapse, and I was so harsh on myself and hated myself so much that the dopamine levels in my brain absolutely tanked. And the only way that my brain could reconcile that was to seek more in the quickest and easiest way it knows how. And so I got stuck in a negative feedback loop for a couple of days. Since either last night or yesterday morning, and I honestly can't remember. And I think that's actually good, because I haven't been too focused on that, instead of been focusing on redoubling my efforts into things that I actually want to be doing instead. Like editing more videos, catching up on some journal entries. I've still got like 5 days worth of backlog. Channel is absolutely stagnant and not growing at all, but that's fine. This is for me first, and y'all second. I love y'all, but I'm not worried about hurting anybody's feelings, because it's literally just me right now. When I actually have any sort of a real following, then I'll be a little bit more worried about offending. But right now, if I were to offend, I'd actually take that as a good thing, because that meant that at least somebody was watching. So if you did find this, if you are watching, thank you. Welcome. Subscribe, please. This is what I do. Right now, it's daily journal entries. You could call it a vlog, I guess, but it's a vlog with a purpose, and it's me having an honest space to get my thoughts out and to share insight into addiction recovery, specifically for myself, porn addiction, chronic masturbation, hypersexuality, not quite sex addiction, not to that level. That's not explicitly excluded, but it's not really included either. But all that to be summarized into dopamine addiction, because it's a drug. It is a real drug, and it is just as addictive as any other drug. So this morning, I made a conscious effort to do something different, which was, instead of trying to get back into the routine that had been working for me when I was on my streak, I realized that in attempting to follow that routine hadn't been working the last few days. So instead, I decided that first thing in the morning, before I get up and do anything else, I was going to dive into a daily meditation session instead. And that was astronomically helpful. So I'll probably be doing that for the next few days at least. And then I started listening to some worship music instead of the podcast that I usually listen to. And it's a good podcast. It's about overcoming porn addiction. But I realize this about my brain, that as soon as my brain gets used to something, it kind of stops becoming effective. And I think that is a symptom of my porn addiction, of my dopamine dependency, because that's a big thing about pornography and that addiction, is that it's the novelty of something wears off quickly and you need more, and you need more extreme. And I definitely don't want to really get into any sort of explicit detail. I'm not trying to trigger anybody. So if you're feeling that way, click away, you're not going to offend me. But that idea of I need more, I kind of see that in my life with a lot of things. I find something that I really enjoy doing, and I go all in on that for a period of time. Once the novelty has worn off, though, it becomes very difficult to stay with that thing, even if I'm seeing great health benefits from it. So there's clearly an underlying issue that really, really needs to be fixed here with all of that. Because that's not sustainable for real healthy habits. So the concept of the main channel videos that I want to be getting to, and where the concept of this channel started with to begin with, was not inherently about overcoming porn addiction. That was always kind of part of it after I landed on the name Novice, because Novice is strong enough. So Novice is strong enough. Novice is, you get it. But that was only ever part of it. What I really wanted to do was to send a message that time is finite, and rather than working a soul-sucking, dreadfully boring 9-to-5 job for the rest of my life, I want to do the things that I want to do in life. And so it became a thought experiment. What if I were to be able to, and there's a lot of logistics involved, which is exactly why I'm not doing it right now. But if I were able to quit my job and for 1 month, just as an arbitrary measurement of time, for that entire month, make my full-time job, so at least 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, for 4 weeks straight, roughly 1 month, if I were to make my full-time job one thing that I've always wanted to try but told myself that I didn't have the time or I didn't have the money to be able to do, like playing the piano, like learning how to sing, like archery, my favorite, and what is going to be, don't steal this, guys. I know there's a lot of people watching these videos. Don't steal these ideas. But my favorite idea as the first one, I don't know how much this would blow up on the algorithm, but I like the poetry of it. The first month would be juggling. I juggled every day for a month, and here's what happened. That's basically your title. Or Novice Masters Juggling in 1 month, something like that. I'm clearly not a YouTube expert with my audience of me. But if I were to put that amount of effort that we put into a full-time job, and I'm not saying everybody puts a ton of effort into their job, but we put a ton of time into it. So if I were to put the same amount of time into something that I actually want to learn how to do and enjoy doing and want to get better at, what could you accomplish in just 1 month? I'm a sales trainer at the life insurance company that I work with, and my job is to take people from where they're at when they are first hired in the company, and over the span of just 4 weeks, get them fully adept to be top sales producers. This isn't a plug for this job, by the way. Hopefully I'm not here much longer. But in the span of just 4 weeks, I can take somebody who knows absolutely nothing about life insurance or sales or the systems that we use and get them producing at a high level. And that's with them having a financial obligation to show up and be there every day. So make it something that they actually are inherently interested in and enjoy doing, or make it something that I am interested in learning and enjoy doing. And I think that in just a few months' time, you can be doing a whole lot more with your life. So I want to start with juggling because the inspiration for this channel started way back in late 2019 when two pretty well-known YouTubers, internet personalities, Mark Edward Fishbach and Ethan Nestor, I don't know Ethan's middle name, otherwise known as their creator names, you guys might have heard of them, Markiplier and Crank Gameplays, who might just go by Ethan Nestor now. They started a little experiment called Unus Annus, and if you guys have been around the channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a sucker for Latin. And it's because of this channel. This idea of what they had, using the finite amount of time that we have, and then it's gone, sparked something huge in me creatively. This idea of what can I do with the limited amount of time that I have if I was to stop pouring that time into things that I don't enjoy doing and to start pouring all of that time into things that I'm fiercely passionate about doing or want to learn or want to try or want to experience. What can I do with that? That's where this channel was birthed. And in March of 2020, while Unus Annus was in production, a little thing happened in 2020. I don't know if surely YouTube has no issue with talking about the coronavirus, COVID-19. They didn't stop. It was a wrench in the plans, but that's kind of the concept. You can't stop time. You don't get to pause and do over. And so they kept doing it anyway. And one of their challenges was, in the span of 1 month, I'm going to learn a new skill. And Ethan chose skateboarding. I think specifically he wanted to learn how to kickflip or ollie. I don't know, because I don't skateboard. I don't know anything about skating or boarding or skateboarding. How do you do, fellow teens? But Mark chose juggling. And he took it seriously enough that he learned how to juggle in just 1 month. And that was big to me. It's not like he was an absolute professional. It's not like he was circus level, but he could juggle. I could do that. I could learn how to juggle, especially if I made it essentially my full-time job, a full 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks in a month. I could learn how to do that. And I've always wanted to. So that's going to be the first one. But there's so many other things that I've always wanted to learn how to do. I think I'm going to feature this like a lot. I just love it. Makes me a little bit sad though, because it's part of a, not a set, but it's not just mine, you know. So I want to do all these things. I want to take the time. I'm so sorry, guys. The viewfinder, I know that can be distracting. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But I want to learn how to do these things starting with juggling as an homage to the channel that gave me heavy inspiration to start this channel, but to do all sorts of other things, like learning new languages, learning instruments, learning how to sing, athletic abilities. I always thought it would be sick to go through a military boot camp or a police or firefighter boot camp and to just see if I could hack it and to gain new respect for those individuals. Just all of these things that I've always thought sounded fun, but told myself I never had the time or could never afford to do it. That was the origin of the dream of this channel. And when I tried to finally embrace that as a goal, it was very much brought to light to me how big of an issue this secret addiction of mine really is. And that's got to be a priority first. But what I'm finding is that the more that I try to focus on just don't give in to temptation, don't get triggered, when I'm focused on the don't, that's all I can focus on. And it's self-destructive. If I focus instead on the things that I actually want to do, all of those things that I just listed, then it becomes way easier not to focus on the negative behaviors. So, on top of filming and editing and uploading more, which I genuinely enjoy doing, takes some work. I'm still on that free 99 budget. I'm still filming off of my iPhone. I don't have a mic, which you can tell every time the AC turns on. But I think for what it is, the video quality is not bad. There's a lot that I still need to learn, like how to upload a thumbnail that's more than 2 pixels. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I want to add to that a little bit more. I'm still exercising at least 30 minutes a day. I'm still following all of the daily challenges from the Quitter 30, hashtag Quitter 30 challenge. I actually couldn't tell you what day I'm on right now because after my relapses, I stopped really paying attention to the days, for better or for worse. There's good and bad to that. But on top of that, I wanted to pick at least one thing that I can start doing now, start doing in my spare time, just a hobby to get better at. And I want that to be singing. Which is really scary to me because I'm the type of person who loves singing, but also thinks that I'm actually working on the self-talk. It's not that I think that I'm bad at singing, it's just that I think that so many other people are so much better. And it's very scary for me to put myself out there when I know that there's still so much that I need to improve on. I was in choir in like 5th to 7th grade. A couple years in a children's choir. And I was too nervous to continue in choir in high school. My girlfriend at the time, who later became my fiance and then my wife, was in choir, and I always thought that she had just the most beautiful voice, and she knew all the other choir kids, and I knew every single one of them. Many of them had been in the same choir that I was in when I was a kid, and it felt to me like I missed my chance, like that ship had sailed. And I've just been living with that ever since. So I want to learn how to sing. I want to teach myself how to sing. I just got my finger in the frame, I apologize. But if, and this is a wild analogy, stay with me, if Ed Sheeran can go from sounding how Ed Sheeran started to where he's at right now with just hard work, practice, and passion, then I believe that I can too. And I'm not under any circumstances saying that I'm going to be a global music star like Ed Sheeran. But I can at least learn how to sing and sing well. And I'm half tempted to give you guys an example right now, but I'm so unconfident about my ability that I'm not going to do that to you. So, with that being said, please help me out. We're looking to grow this channel massively. Every goal that I've outlined here is a very real goal of mine, and I'm determined to make it happen, but I can't do that alone. I need your help. Would love to have you join me on this journey, which means I need you to like, subscribe, comment down below, share the video, ring the bell, all of that. Get the word out that I even exist. Because remember, these really aren't correlated thoughts, but I have to end it in the same way. You know, a good, consistent outro. Surely that's good for the algorithm. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, and remember to love, and remember truth. I will catch you in the next one.